Is Uniswap token going to be the next Chainlink? Now, I'm sure a lot of you don't even need to get introduced to Chainlink because Chainlink has been one of those explosive cryptocurrencies. And if you look at the current market cap valuation of Uniswap at the moment is $5.16 with a market cap valuation of about 591 million US dollars in comparison to Chainlink, right? Chainlink is valued at 3.9 billion US dollars with a price tag of about $10.12. So a lot of you have been wondering, and a lot of you have been looking forward to finding one of those unicorn type of investments that are really going to provide you with much more return on investments. And to be honest, I haven't seen something that is quite as explosive and something that really adds a lot of value, something which is very useful as Uniswap, Uni tokens. And I really believe that obviously in the next coming few years, this particular cryptocurrency is going to be worth much more than it is right now. But of course, we have to consider a lot of different factors. Let's say, for example, the inflation rate. If you guys take some time to take a look at the token economics, right? You obviously understand that there's going to be some inflation rate, which is obviously going to affect the price. However, it is obviously going to be very, very explosive. And to be honest, I really think that Uniswap deserves to be part of the top 10 cryptocurrencies, because if we take a look at its direct competitors, right? Obviously, Binance Coin, Binance.com is a centralized exchange. Uniswap.org is a decentralized exchange. And if you consider the value that people are obviously able to siphon out of decentralized exchanges that really provide liquidity mining, right? Obviously, it is much more beneficial for people to support decentralized exchanges because they are able to get that value, earn passive income, and just basically provide liquidity and be able to participate in terms of yield farming and just all that value that is really brought about by, getting to earn from the transaction fees. So if you take a look at the market cap valuation of Binance, right, which is around 3.9 billion US dollars, right, that is obviously a very good overview of where we might go as far as Uniswap protocol and the Uniswap decentralized exchange plus its token might go. So taking a look at another decentralized finance project, Chainlink, right? Chainlink is valued at 3.9 billion US dollars. So obviously it is fair to assume that eventually we are obviously going to roll from this particular rank number 35 all the way down to the top 10 cryptocurrencies, and that is obviously going to bring about a lot of return on investment. However, you have to understand that cryptocurrencies are made up of cycles. By the way, I am not your financial advisor. This is not financial advice, and investing in cryptocurrencies is extremely risky because by the end of it all, all these investment might end up going to zero. So I do not want you to blame me in case something bad happens. So please invest in cryptocurrencies at your own risk, and please do your own due diligence. So anyway, for those of you who watched yesterday's video, right, I did tell you that I sold my Uniswap tokens, right? I got out, I pretty much sold everything. At first, I sold around $5.60, around this particular price level. And then it pumped all the way up to about $8.50, and then I was able to sell yesterday around $7.60, 40 to 60 cents right over here. So I sold here and here. So as you can see right now, we obviously had like a very good downward momentum, and we have actually reached one of my first buying targets. My first buying target was obviously this one, $4.84, because we initially had support right over here. However, I do believe that this support is not really that strong, so we might end up just basically going down all the way down to about $3.69, and this is obviously going to be like the ultimate reload zone for me. So right now, actually added to my long-term portfolio, right, I just bought a few just because I'm just trying to play off of this particular bounce. So this could also be like a very good swing trade for me, and perhaps I might be able to sort of try and just capitalize off of this particular bounce right over here. As you can see, we are even bouncing off a little bit, and then we might just end up perhaps correcting towards the upside for a while and then continue going towards our downward trajectory. However, my ultimate buying zone is obviously going to be way below $3.62. That is if we're going to end up dropping. However, if we don't really end up going into this particular threshold between $4.84 all the way down to about $3.68, then I'm going to be good to go, because I did load up a little bit of Uni tokens right over here. So that's how I basically trade. So I really hope that you guys get a little bit of an insight in terms of how you can get to like multiply your bags and how you can just play off of the volatility, because by the end of it all, if you are not really taking advantage of the volatility, right, you are obviously leaving much more money on the table, because I am a strong believer of Uni token, and I really believe that we might end up having a higher market cap valuation. But during this period, right, there's obviously going to be fluctuations. So I really want to increase my bags. I only got about 400 Uni tokens, and I want to earn more. I don't want to invest extra money. I would rather trade and buy back and just multiply my bags, because I don't really want to like end up adding more money. So that's just how the game goes, and that's how I usually play this particular these particular games. However, due to the fact that if we take a look at the Uniswap funding rate, so if we take a look at Uni, right, we still are positive. We are still around 0.01%. So the funding rate as far as Uni tokens are concerned is the longs are still paying the shorts. So this is one of the reasons why we're not really going to have like an explosive pump towards the upside as far as Uni token is concerned, because the funding rate is still very positive. So I really believe that we're obviously going to be either just going up for a short period of time and then continue going down until we find, or rather have a situation where the funding rate is a little bit negative. Like here on the 18th of September, right, we had negative 0.74 funding rate, and that is one of the reasons why we had like a massive major pump towards the upside, because a lot of people were betting towards the downside. So this is one of the reasons why it is very important to always use like a whole lot of different tools. That is as far as my Uniswap technical analysis is concerned. So remember, it's all about hedging your risk and obviously doing the right thing. So that's obviously going to be my long-term play. Remember what I told you, I sold out yesterday, completely out, but today I added a little bit of Uni tokens to my long-term portfolio, because I believe we're going to experience a bounce here, because we previously had some support right over here, but eventually I believe we're going to come back down and obviously get into this buy zone, which is around $3.60 all the way to about $4.77. So that's obviously going to be like a good reload zone. However, if we end up breaking way below $3.69, then that's going to be like a very good party. That's going to be a fiesta. I'm just going to be buying a whole lot if we're going to end up dropping way below $3.60. That's going to be like a very good ultimate reload zone. Now let's move over to BTC, because I really want you guys to have like a very good perspective in terms of other markets. So as you can see right over here, I am expecting the funding rate. I think the funding rate of BTC has been introduced. So let's just take a look at the BTC USD funding rate. So the funding rate with regards to BTC is around minus 0.01. And usually when we experience anything in the negatives, especially way higher than 0.01%, right, we obviously experience some sort of upside momentum. So as far as BTC is concerned, we are at 10,838, right, and we might continue going down for a short while, but I really believe that BTC is going to end up correcting towards the upside. So perhaps we have like a little bit more of a downward momentum, and potentially we might end up going to about 10,500 or even yeah, I think this particular area, 10,618, because that used to be the previous resistance right over here. So anything between 10,500 to about 10,600 is going to be like a very good area to like put in, along with aggressive stop losses, because you know the markets right now are very shaky. So I'm obviously leaning towards the longer side, towards the long side, only if the traditional markets don't end up cracking, because right now the funding rate of BTC is in the minus, meaning there's a lot of people who are shorting Bitcoin in comparison to the people who are longing Bitcoin. So obviously, as a contrarian trader and you know, just somebody who bets against the herd, I'm obviously leaning towards the upside. However, we just have to be careful. I'm going to be extremely careful. I'm only going to get in once I see that the buying power is obviously going to continue. Like for example, here we might end up dropping, by the way, this is an oscillator, the volume zone oscillator. We might end up dropping all the way into this particular threshold right over here to the bottom, just like we experienced here, and then we might end up shooting back. So that's a scenario that I am waiting for. So right now we are heading towards the downside. As you can see here, we just like we did right over here, right? We obviously ended up correcting further, but it didn't last long, and then we ended up going to the upside. So that's the scenario that I am obviously looking forward to, and that is obviously going to be like a very good area for me to load up and just sort of put in a long, because I am trying to bet against the entire herd, and I'm just trying to be a contrarian. And by the way, you shouldn't just be a contrarian for the sake of being a contrarian. You have to like have some other guidance, tools, and just some more insights. So for example, if we take a look at the open interest right now, right, let's take a look at the open interest. So as you can see here, we obviously ended up correcting, and the open interest was kind of going up, so that is obviously very bearish. And I'm looking forward to having a situation where the open interest is going to sort of have a reset, because right now more people are going towards the short side, so a lot of people are shorting. So what I'm looking forward to is a scenario where we have like the big players, institutional monies, or just you know, like higher buy orders, in order for us to experience this reset in terms of the open interest. So as you can see here, the open interest is beginning to decrease as the price increases. So as you can see, that really means that more people are, you know, the stronger players, aka the composite traders, the composite man, or just people who've got like more buying power, they are beginning to slowly long the markets. However, we still have another scenario where the price of BTC might end up correcting towards the downside for a little bit, you know, for like a smaller drop in the price. And then when that situation is done with, then we can have a correction towards the upside. I'm going to be looking forward to like seeing the volume bars. So as you can see here, we are having more selling power in terms of the volume bars. So I'm looking forward to having a scenario where the BTC buying volume is obviously going to be way higher than the selling volume. Just something like this. If we have a scenario like that, then I'm going to know that, okay, the bigger players are now longing. Okay, so that's just how I'm going to be playing it. So I'm just obviously going to be observing what is going to be happening to the price of BTC around 10,500 all the way to around 10,600. Then I'm just going to be able to like readjust my trades. So right now I'm just being on the fence and just observing from, you know, the sidelines and just seeing what is going to happen. That's as far as BTC is concerned. Now taking a look at the gold market, right? The gold market, obviously it's not really that, it's not really looking good, ladies and gentlemen. We are having a situation where we might potentially see a crash in terms of the gold price, and that is obviously going to be able to affect cryptocurrency markets as well. So for example, in March, this was March, right? March 2020, we had this crazy nasty sell-off right over here. And take a look at the volume bars here on the gold chart. Do you see what's happening there, right? We obviously had a few weeks. I mean, this just happened in 2 weeks. Okay, but we had some warning signs. We had some warning signs in February. In February, we had like a lot of selling pressure here, according to this particular weekly volume bar. But the sell-off didn't happen right there and then. It happened maybe like 2 or 3 weeks later. Do you see what happened there? So I'm obviously expecting the same scenario to sort of play out, especially in the next coming 2 to, I don't know, 6 weeks. So we are in a very, difficult scenario right now, because we are potentially going to be able to like face or endure a massive drop with regards to the whole entire traditional markets and cryptocurrencies as well. So if you are going to be longing anything, I really advise you to utilize an aggressive stop loss, because you do not want to be in a position where you are left holding bags like what happened in March. Because as you can see right over here, right, we are having the same similar bar selling pressure. You see, almost the same volume bar in comparison to the March, selling bars right over here. And then the past few weeks, we have just been sidelining. We haven't been doing a whole lot. We've been ranging. And a lot of people might even point this out to be some sort of symmetrical triangle on the weekly. Okay. So eventually we are obviously going to end up breaking out of this particular, symmetrical triangle, and we might end up either pumping or dumping pretty heavily. Okay, now that really sounds cliche like every other cryptocurrency trader, right? Now let me give you the highest probability. So if we switch over to some other, oscillators, like for example, the MACD, right? We are obviously sort of producing the bearish divergence right over here, right? We are having a bearish divergence. If these lines intersect, then obviously that is obviously going to be pretty bad. So according to this, right, it is a little bit tricky to determine what is obviously going to end up happening. But having a continuation of this particular move, right, is obviously something which is bound to happen, and we might end up continuing towards the downside. So that is something that might potentially happen, because to be honest, gold did have like a tremendous rally leading up towards this particular price range. So we might have a situation where we might just end up correcting towards the downside and then rallying back up towards the upside, just like what happened in March. If we go back to March, right over here, this was the nasty crash. We just ended up correcting for a few days, and then we ended up having like another massive significant rally. So obviously the United States of America is obviously going to be having their they're going to be having their elections in November, right? So the Democrats are obviously going to be trying to ruin the traditional markets and all that stuff. So we might have a situation where the S&P 500 drastically drops and then just gets to pump back up, because the Feds are quantitative easing and they're just printing out a lot of money. So they might just end up buying back everything. So that is obviously a scenario. And according to history, right, prior to having elections, there is obviously like a market sell-off, an aggressive one. So we obviously experienced one right over here, and I'm sure there's going to be another one closer to the elections. So this is one of the reasons why October is going to be very monumental, and it's going to be like a make or break type of season for a lot of people out there. To the people who are going to be very vigilant, you guys are going to end up making a lot of money, because there's going to be like a lot of different alternative cryptocurrencies that are going to be extremely cheap, because there's going to be like panic season and all that stuff. So when this particular scenario happens, right, you need to have cash on deck. You need to have bullets, right? Because you don't want to be in this particular situation and you are stuck in a trade. So this is one of the reasons why, if you are trading anything right now, please put aggressive stop losses, so that if anything happens while you're sleeping, you can just get out of the trade and just be safe and have money in order for you to like be able to play and just use the market to your advantage. So that's all I had to say to you guys with regards to Uniswap, BTC, traditional markets, the S&P 500. We are in very advantageous situations, because there's going to be upcoming volatility in the next coming 2 to 6 weeks. So if we play our cards right, we're going to end up making way much more money. So I really want you to be very, very vigilant, be on your toes, make sure you've got bullets, make sure you've got capital, just waiting to reload and buy the dip and just doing what you have to do, because I do not want you guys to be in a situation where you are mentally frustrated because there is an opportunity but you just can't seize it because you don't have any capital to play with. So if you use USD Tether, stable coins, and just basically be able to withhold your bullets and only fire when the market is obviously ripe for you to make a move, then obviously you are obviously going to end up being victorious in this particular game. Do not really get married to the money on your portfolio because that is fictitious. You only make money when you withdraw or when you go into USD Tether or something. Okay, that's the only time that you get to lock in your profits. Having a very good bullish or green portfolio seems very good, but you're not really actualizing your value. Okay, so this is one of the reasons why I try to play off of the volatility and just see what is happening. So anyhow, let's look at Uniswap right now, because for the past few minutes I think the price of Uniswap has dropped. So yeah, that's very good. I am super ready for more downturn, and I've got bullets in the chamber. I've got more bullets in the chamber because I am waiting for the ultimate reload zone. So whatever happens, if BTC goes up or down, I'm Gucci. I am super good. So I really hope that you guys are learning a thing or two. So anyhow, it's been your boy Muna, aka Beyond 10x. You guys have been awesome. Hit the like button, subscribe to my YouTube channel for daily cryptocurrency awesomeness, and you guys are going to be like very, you guys are going to be good. All right, so yeah, talk to you a little bit later. Bye.